Companies are making workers pay for their own super increase. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.Heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee because we're going to talk about mean old companies that are making workers pay for their own super increase. How could that possibly happen? Australian companies making workers pay for super rates, cutting their take-home pay. Oh boy. Now before we discuss, some suggestions and the fact that super funds are becoming ideologically motivated, I want to frame this from a different perspective. There's two ways we need to look at this, and to do that, we're going to jump onto the tablet here. Now, let me just adjust this mic. Now, let's look at two scenarios, everyone. Yeah, we'll look at something in two perspectives. Here's Johnny Worker, okay, and Johnny Worker has some funds, and we will draw. Okay, this circle here represents Johnny Worker's money. Okay, and now this is what Johnny Worker earns, and we'll fill that with a nice green. There we have it now. So this is their salary. Now, employees, workers, they think that their super is on top of that. It's in addition to it. And for minimum wage people, it usually is. Okay, it's in addition. So you have your wages here, but then you also have another little slither that gets added on. What will we do here? We'll just draw here another little slither here, which is in addition to your wage. This is your superannuation, everyone. Here, 9%, 10%. It is what it is. It's the additional money that you get here. So you get, your take-home pay here, and you get your super here, and that gets sent to, the union funds or the bank funds, one or the other. Okay? And they get that, and that's what's increasing. So people are thinking, why do I have to pay that out of my pay? Now, this is the scenario for someone who's just at the bare bottom on the award wage. Everyone, at this level where your super is in addition to your wage. You're right at the bottom here. So minimum wage increase here will also result in a super increase, and a super increase as well is going to increase your total package. Now, this is the perspective that the media is pushing forward. Now, I'm not sure how many people actually just see it this way, but you've got to understand from an employer's perspective, from a boss's perspective, there's one burden cost to hiring a worker. That's the whole package. That's everything. That is the combination of this and this. Now, from an employer's perspective, it is a little different. When you have your staff, what you have is, a burden cost associated with it. You know what? No, I want this here. And what's included in this burden cost is a few things, not just the wages, because there are a lot of costs associated with having staff. And this goes into how you calculate the charge-out rate. This is why you might think, wow, look at how high that charge-out rate is, until you actually realize what's involved in figuring that out. Then you'll start to appreciate it, and why the perspective is a little bit different. So what we have here, okay, we've got this here is just a little pie chart, and in here we'll say this one, and I'll lock that to this. We'll say that's the salary that we have there. That's the wage of the employee, and also there'll be a little slither in here, and we'll make that the superannuation, everyone. And where is it? There we go. We'll make this one here a superannuation, and we'll color him in a nice snot green. But there are other costs also associated with this, and this pie chart, it'll vary from business to business where the breakdown is. But we've got the salary. Oh, hang on. So here we have the salary, and if this just changed color a moment ago, it's because I've had to change something. So here we've got the salary, and here we have the super. Okay, but there's other costs associated with having a staff member as well, and these vary depending on your business. But let's say we've got one here, and this cost here will make that one in an aqua, a blue.
one of the co-pick colors. This one here could be your business premises cost, the office space cost, that associated per staff. You've got floor area, you've got furnishings, you've got those type of things, and maybe then there's another cost here. We'll just we'll say for argument's sake that could be power, and there could be all these other costs. So each staff member, their cost to have them has all of these different considerations, everyone. And, well, superannuation is just one of them, or superannuation and wages is just one of them. And in this circumstance, we have this here as superannuation and wages as one portion of the entire burden cost of that employee. So when you're doing the sums, when you're calculating your charge out rate, generally, you 1/3 costs, one third for staff, and then 1/3 profit. That's a real old crappy rule of thumb we were taught. But from an employer's perspective, the superannuation, if you have a package that you provide to the worker, the package to that worker is this guy here, everyone. We'll add a layer. We'll just do this. So the package to your employee is this element here that you're providing them. And there may be other things as well. They may get a car, they may get this, but this is the package. So what happens is if Mr. Government comes and says, well, you now have to pay this much to your superannuation fund because we think you're not capable of managing your own money, of saving it. We have to force you to save even more to put more of it away. Now, I understand there are tax advantages, and I understand there's it's good to encourage people to save, but you've got to realize what these businesses are doing if they're paying people in a package is completely fair, everyone. There's nothing wrong with it. And we'll jump through here. So now their super costs have increased. So now the worker is having to pay, what do? We picked a snotty green, pay that much in super, and their take-home pay has now been reduced to that much because a portion has gone towards their superannuation, or a portion of their pay has now become superannuation. So that's where you can see the package deal being different. Now, not everyone is paid like that, and I bet you that is what we're going to see in this article right here with how they're framing this. Now, some of the super funds, they're not all good guys. They're ideologically motivated. I've been on the receiving end of just the treatment from some of these super funds as a small business owner, where they're insisting that you pay more than is legally required or more frequently than is legally required. And there's costs associated with that. And they've pushed you under duress to just sign up to all these things and agreements. That's kind of where I've gotten very frustrated with some of the industry funds, just seeing their treatment of small business people. But now you're also having these ideological funds that are pulling out of things like sexist companies. You're about to lose funding, organizations and companies that don't meet arbitrary quotas, that don't have all their tick boxes aligned. This is insulting, and it just turns a person into a checkbox. We saw that dashboard from that other business that a viewer shared with me, where they're just people are turned into what sexual orientation they are, or what race they are, or what gender they are. That's what you're turned into to tick a box so they can do this. Do we want to live in a country like that, or do we want to live in a merit-based society, a merit-based country? Maybe I'm just old-fashioned. I haven't gone to enough woke brainwashing because I'm working for myself. So let's have a look at this article, everyone. Australian companies making workers pay for super. Wow. This is what happened. This is what we said would happen. Even if they give it to them, they'll just take it out of future pay rises. So workers for major Australian companies, including Telstra, AGL and ANZ, will have their take-home pay cut when an increase to superannuation payments kicks in on July 1. The superannuation contribution, which is compulsory for employers to contribute to staff's retirement fund, is rising from 9.5% to 10% from July 1. Whether workers are impacted depends on the type of employment contract they are on. Some employers include superannuation as part of the employee's total package, while others pay super contributions on top of the base salary. It's the first group of people that face taking home less pay come July 1, as it's legal for a company to take money out of base package if it's included in their total package. Yes, it's perfectly fine and reasonable. It would be sensible for businesses to design it in such a way, because that's how much you're paying people. I was really frustrated that the young people didn't appreciate the super that you're paying them. It's not money that I can use. You know, you're getting this check, you're having to pay it all the time. That's why I want, you need to keep an eye on your super. That's why back in the day I had mates who worked for years at places and didn't get paid any super because they never checked it. That's the one advantage of taking control of your super and seeing it. So there's one exception. Employees' take-home pay can't drop below the minimum wage outlined in an award or contract if superannuation is being taken out of it. Some staff have received emails or letters from their employers revealing that the superannuation rise will be taken from their base pay, meaning an effective salary cut. Well, that's what you get. That's what you get from the politicians, everyone. Because you're too dumb to manage your own money. They want to manage it for you. I mean, super's big money, big money, big industry, big control. So why the increase is being passed on? Telstra is one company that has earmarked that some employees will be affected. A Telstra spokesman said only senior management would be impacted by the rise in superannuation, which is about 5% of their workforce. Employees who aren't in senior management roles have been receiving a minimum of 10% superannuation for more than 5 years, he told news.com.au. Telstra's enterprise agreement applies to all employees in Australia who aren't in senior management roles, with the 10% superannuation included since 2015, he added. For our senior managers and executives not covered by the EA, their super contribution of 9.5% will increase to 10% from 1 July, in line with the new legislation, he said. This group represents around 5% of our overall workforce, and their overall fixed remuneration will remain unchanged. Some AGL staff received an email last week that flagged the salary change, with superannuation contributions increasing and the base pay slightly decreasing, it said. For most of you, this increase to your superannuation contribution will mean a change to your take-home pay of around $4 to $8 per week, the email said. For those with a base salary range of $160,000 to $234,000, the maximum earning base for superannuation contribution, the change will be around $9 to $12 a week. An AGL spokeswoman said the company undertakes a careful assessment of market trends, business conditions, and company results to determine how the increase to the superannuation guarantee contribution will be applied. In 2013, the increase was absorbed by AGL, whereas in 2014, the increase was absorbed by our fixed remuneration employees, she noted. The recent increase will affect AGL employees differently based on their remuneration provisions and type of superannuation fund. She added that AGL is working closely with all employees to ensure they understand the changes by providing virtual information sessions and employee communications. ANZ Bank was another company that has sent letters to staff informing them that their take-home pay would be reduced slightly. The company carefully weighed up the implications of the superannuation increase based on a number of factors, an ANZ spokesman said. It's important to note, this will not impact take-home pay for the majority of our branch staff and contact centre people. The staff affected are our more senior employees in head office roles. An employee on $100,000 a year will see a reduction in their after-tax salary of $10 a fortnight. This amount will be paid to their chosen superannuation at a lower tax rate of 15%, giving an after-tax increase of $13.6. He added that ANZ will also follow a 30th of September year-end, which separates the date of the superannuation guarantee increase from their own pay review cycle. ANZ will ensure any external factors such as superannuation guarantee changes are considered as part of their annual performance and remuneration process later in the year, he noted. A core part of our remuneration framework is our commitment to ensuring that it is fair, equitable for our global workforce, which is spread across more than 30 countries. So check your contract. The practice of forcing workers to fund the superannuation increase out of their own pocket by reducing their pay is illegal for the vast majority of Australian employers, warned ACTU President Michelle O'Neill. Well, then the employers need to get contracts in place that include it as a total package. There are a very narrow set of circumstances where individual contracts are structured in a way which allows this, she told news.com.au. If your employer is suggesting that this is what they plan to do from July 1, you should contact your union. The superannuation guarantee is increasing because currently workers don't have enough retirement savings to live on once they retire, she added. But workers are also suffering after more than 8 years of record low wage growth. This cannot be an either-or proposition. Workers need a wage rise and an increase to super, she said. But they realise this is going to put the cost on. It'll increase the cost base of employing people, so it'll just be passed on to consumers. So the cost of living for workers will go up, and that means more work will be offshored. We need to look at ways of making it cheaper and create incentives for people to employ Australians. But that's, I guess we don't talk about that anymore. Profits have seen record growth through the pandemic. It's time for employers to pass that on to the workers who've carried us through the crisis. Well, Telstra already has been. This is a risky strategy for employers to consider, and other major employers have tried this in the past and have been stung. More superannuation increases have also been flagged in the future, with a rise of 0.5% each year until 12% by 2025. The rise comes as super funds claim new laws would staple workers to a single fund, could cost workers up to $230,000 over the course of their working lives. The new laws, to be debated in the Senate this week, are designed to address the issue of Australians acquiring multiple super accounts as they change jobs by stapling a member's account to them as they move between employers. I mean, this is just because people, frankly, are not taking control of it. They're not taking control. Now, here's some suggestions. Frankly, you need to take control of the super because it's your money. You need to see it as your money, everyone. You need to understand that it's your money. Sure, it's an additional payment if you're on the bottom rung of the award. You can pretend it's extra money from the employer and it's not going to affect you, but it's all part of the package. It's all part of the burden that you're placing on the employer or that they have to absorb to keep you working. If you're on a package deal, well, it's your money, really, that's being forced to be put into the super fund. Now, you need to take control of it. There's a few ways you can do it. You can set up a self-managed fund, but that has costs and can be a pain, and it may not be worth it depending on your super. Or you can look at funds that allow you to buy specific shares, investments, or manage it even more closely. Or look at one where you can get an app and just see how much is going in so you can have a look. So there's different options. And I think, number one, you need to take an interest in it. And you need to take control of it, and you need to watch it. No matter what you do, just check it. When's the last time you checked your super fund? When's the last time you updated the beneficiaries? Someone sent me an article today. A justice had an affair and lived with a 20-something woman, 45 years his junior, and he chased after her super as a beneficiary, and he got it because the super fund agreed that he was her de facto. Oh, it looks like such a mess. And he's moved back in with the missus. There you go. And this is someone on over six figures. Yep. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this one in the comments down below. What is your favorite super fund? Do you have one that you use, or do you go self-managed? Or do you go to the one of those that lets you buy your own shares? As always, if you're a fan and enjoy the content, you can support us a number of ways. You can join us on YouTube or Patreon, sign up for SelfWealth or Stake, use our referral links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve or AussieBroadband, buy a merch from HeiseSays, use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, or support us via PayPal. Take care. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.